Hello and welcome to Get Plus TV. So with less than 6 weeks to go now until IBC in Amsterdam, running the 9th to the 12th of September, today's show is going to get you behind the scenes a bit to discover more about the show plans, the format and what we can expect.
Yep, and we've got a lot to cover, and who better to enlighten us than IBC CEO Mike Crimp. Hi Mike, good to see you again. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks guys. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. So Mike, 6 weeks to go. How are plans firming up for the show this year?
Yes, 6 weeks to go. It's busy and exciting at this end. It's looking really good. So as you probably know, we took on 11 halls at the Rye. It looks like we're going to fill all those. There's a few tiny slots left. We have a cut-off date of next Friday, I think, because there's a lot of logistics that planning has to go into tidying it all up. But yeah, it's looking really good. I think you'll see all the big exhibitors that you would normally see. In fact, I can't think of one who's not there. And
Great.
Reg is going well. It's about 30% down on 2019, which was a sort of massively record year. So that's looking quite solid as well. And the content program is looking really good indeed. And I think we're going to talk about that a bit later. So I'll wait.
Well, let's do it now. The conference is running 9th and 10th of September, I think. Give us a quick rundown of your speakers' sessions. What can we expect?
Yeah, so the content program's in 3 parts really. You've got the 9th and the 10th, which is the paid content program, the conference. And then on the Sunday and the Monday, you've got what we're calling our Change Makers program, which is IBC kind of reaching out to partners to have a bit more breadth to our agenda, apart from just the tech. And I'll tell you a bit about that in a moment. And the commercial content, we've got some stages on the show floor, and that runs all the way through the event. And that's got if you take our showcase theatre, for example, that's got a lot of big players on it. Accenture, AWS, EVS, Google, those kind of companies sort of presenting their vision of tech and where it's going to go. So I'll take you through each one quickly, if I may. So if you start with a paid conference, well, really it's really about shifting business models, usual transformative tech we'll be looking at, and also some of the people who are making waves. Some of the speakers, who have we got? We've got Marcus Gross, who's the chief scientist at Disney. We've got Archana Anand, who's got a very long and very impressive job title. He's from Google. And he'll be looking at how Google are exploring linear and non-linear and how they could potentially coexist in the future. We've got a whole bunch of people from Hollywood. We've got Eddie Drake, who's head of technology at Marvel, Michael Wise, who's SVP and CTO at Universal. And they'll be looking at Movie Lab's 2030 Vision Project. We've got our usual power panel of CTOs, which has got Frédéric Brochard of France Television, and we have Anne-Sophie Eriksson, CIO of Swedish Radio, and a whole bunch of big CEOs coming into that one, and so on and so forth. We'll even be looking into the metaverse with a session from the SVP of Innovation at MediaMonks. So there's a lot going on those 2 days. Moving on to the other 2 days, the last 2 days they're free sessions, and what we've done is we've reached out, as I say, to a bunch of partners who perhaps explore and specialise in other areas that IBC hasn't tackled so much in the past. So that will be equality, sustainability, mental health issues, even. So there's quite a wide range of issues there. And that complements all of the show floor theatres as well.
So, Mike, obviously, we're hoping we're going to get people at IBC this year, but are you going to be running any form of hybrid platform digital offering to those that, for whatever reason, aren't able to attend in person? Streaming the sessions you just mentioned, or will those just be made available on demand afterwards?
Yeah, I guess the big difference when we were looking at it as hybrid is that we were kind of producing it not just for people in the room, but also equally for people at home, and that we were capturing all of the online data to pass on to the exhibitors, with the aim being to add more to more value to the experience. But that didn't come to pass for various reasons. So we've taken a more straightforward digital approach this year. As you know, we've got our own well-established digital platform, IBC 365. So all of the content on all of the stages will be recorded, and then that will be played out over some of it in hours, some of it in days, some of it in weeks' time, depending on the theme and how we prioritize it within that program. That will all be free of charge. So if you can't make it or you can't get to everything, you'll still be able to consume that when you get back home.
Yeah, they won't necessarily be able to interact, though. Of course, being there, there's nothing quite like it. So, what's also interesting is we've spoken the last year or the last couple of times we've spoken about the show. We've had to sort of focus on COVID precautions and lots of these sort of what if scenarios. Is IBC 22 being run effectively how a pre-COVID show would run, or will we still experience things like the touchless bag collection or the perimeter, if I remember, that kept us in? Is it just a normal show?
Yeah, well, currently it's planned to run as a no restrictions pre-COVID event, because that's, as we've always said all the way through, we'll follow the current advice in the city. We can tighten up and change things if we have to. Those scenarios are sort of still in play if we need them to be. But currently, there are no restrictions in Amsterdam or across the EU. It's open for business, and we'll be following that. I will say that during the event, on all the signage and the screens and the things you see, we will be asking people to be respectful of those who want to wear a mask or asked to keep their distance. I think we've all seen that actually works quite well at other shows currently in practice. There are those who are still vulnerable or in close contact with people who are vulnerable. So we will be stressing that. But the general feeling, and we've discussed this with some of our committees, is that if Amsterdam is, open and free with no restrictions, then IBC needs to be the same. People are going to be out and about in the city, the hotels and the transport anyway. So currently there aren't. In terms of the perimeter, therefore we don't need it. But we kind of haven't thrown away everything. As you know, we were doing...
Kept the good bits.
Yeah, we're doing the facial recognition. If you want to, you can sign up for that. That's just been launched this week, I think. So if you want that. And there will be contactless badge collection, just because it's a lot quicker. You just scan your QR code from your edge. But there'll be people around to help if you need them. But we just want to, we've learned a lot from that, so we don't want to throw that away.
So, Mike, I read about the IBC's Partnership Pavilion. For those that might not have come across it, is this something new? What is it? And tell us a bit about that.
To be honest, no, it's not new. It's always been there. So, for those who might be new to IBC is owned by 6 industry bodies, including the IABM, the IEEE, the BTS broadcast part of the IEEE. The IET, the RTS, SCTE, and SMPTE. So roughly, they're all the charitable bodies that, mainly charitable bodies that represent the visitors and the exhibitors at IBC. they've always been that, and they always play a role in education and other areas of the business where they can help with advocacy or whatever it might be. They have strong programs around diversity and inclusion and all of those things. I guess the difference is that post-pandemic we've just raised their profile a bit, so you've seen a bit more of us stressing more the importance of that relationship between those partners who own IBC and the industry itself. So it's nothing new, but you will see an extensive selection of content and education running, presented and curated by them.
Yeah, good. And you've also got the IBC Accelerator Program again. I'll be honest, I can't remember how long that's been running, but can you tell us a bit more about that? I think we spoke to you, or was it was one of your colleagues, I think, about it last year. What you're planning for this year's show with the Accelerator Program?
Yeah, this is the third year that it's run, but we haven't actually yet been able to present any of the results of the projects. Right. So we're really quite excited about that. So basically what happens is it's a kind of speed dating between tech manufacturers, technology companies and broadcasters and content companies. Oh. And what happens is anyone can stand up and say, I've got an idea or I've got a problem, who can help me? And then they form into projects, and IBC's role is to facilitate those projects. And we do it quite quickly. So it sort of runs from, April, May time through to September. And it's like putting together a concept and bringing it as far forward as you can. Now, the idea of it is that on the stages at IBC, you'll be able to go along and hear the results of that. There's some big players involved. BBC, BT Media, BT Sport, ESL, Fox, Olympic broadcasters, Paramount. I could go on and on and on. It's not just the manufacturers. RTE, Unity Technologies, and some academics as well. So they all come together and they present that solution. So what they're looking to do is to stand on the stage and show you the result of how far they've come during that time. So very quickly, the projects this year will be cloud-based live events, analytics and low latency protocols. So this is demonstrating how live sport multiple camera feeds can be delivered at scale with full visibility, including live IP signal ingest, standard conversion, as well as assessing the potential to introduce low latency protocols. So there's one. There's one on cloud localization blueprint. It outlines best practices and considerations for building cloud-based media supply chain for localization of entertainment content. There's one on new generation news studios. There's one on 5G and the arena of the future for XR events. Mm-hmm. There's one on 5G production in the middle of nowhere. There's one on volumetric video for broadcasting. And there's one on media content sharing, monetization and micropayment systems via blockchain. So you can see some of the 5G and AI and blockchain technologies coming into these projects. So I think it'd be a really interesting area for people to look at, and you can go and see those free of charge on the stages.
Cool. So Mike, I guess away from the show floor a little bit now, it's pretty public knowledge, I think, that the IBC was criticised last year for the late call on cancelling the show due to COVID, which of course led to many issues with unrecoverable costs and so on for exhibitors and possibly a few visitors as well. Now, we don't want to dwell on the past, but you've got a long way to address these issues, haven't you, in your recently published manifesto?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, first of all, we thought it was important to apologise to all of the people who had lost out. And there was a feeling from some that we could have maybe acted quicker or communicated that better. So I guess the manifesto was a statement of intent, which we're following through and seems to be working. And I guess what happened was we got caught out, like everybody else did, by the Omicron variant and the speed of it. The data changed in 10 days from IBC being absolutely on to absolutely off. And so we wanted to make sure that we didn't repeat that. We wanted to feel like we were more in contact with the sentiment of everybody in the business. So we put together an advisory group of exhibitors, for example, in different geographical areas, and we have a regular meeting. So we get the sentiment of what's happening in each area, and it helps us stay in touch. That's worked really well, actually. In fact, I had a meeting with it this morning. We publish a regular COVID status update to help the industry see where they are with where IBC and the City of Amsterdam is, and what the general sentiment is towards events as we move closer towards the show. So we'll keep that updated, and people can find it on the IBC site.
And I think one of the findings of the manifesto report, so to speak, was that this was a time an opportunity to reimagine IBC, maybe get a bit back to basics. And of course, you mentioned earlier, yes, COVID, but you mentioned earlier the diversity and health, addressing those kind of things, maybe even environmental concerns as well. So how do people engage? What are you offering, and where do they find how to engage on the website, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Well, you can find the program on the website and visit those sessions, and obviously you can engage through the sessions in 2022. I think there was a question coming out of the pandemic, which was how do you reimagine IBC? A different way of looking at it was, what is the value proposition for a big event going forward? Are people buying things differently? Are people selling things differently? What's the role of digital in that? What's the role of building big stands and shipping them all around the world in that? So there are a number of quite big issues in it. So what we've done is we've commissioned some research, and that's how people can really have their input. You won't have seen it yet because it's just being finished in the run-up to IBC. There's a survey that people can take part in. Oh, cool. And then on site there'll be some focus groups, and you'll probably see invitations to be part of that. But if people want to be part of it, please feel free to email me, because we're always happy to try and bring people in. So we've engaged with a research company that's done work with this across different markets for large events, to give us that kind of aspect of what's happening in our market versus others. The idea is that coming out of the other side of the show, we'll have a lot more information from the survey and some qualitative thinking and focus groups, which we can then look at to adjust IBC to make sure that we're still on point when it comes to the things that we're delivering and setting our agenda for the next 3 to 5 years. So this year, what you'll see are additions to our content program as a kind of statement of intent, really. What you'll see after that is the results of the research and us trying to grow and embed more of these emerging important issues like sustainability and diversity in our program and in the event in some way.
Thank you very much, Mike. Really looking forward to seeing you and everyone over in Amsterdam in September. And register for the show, visit our short link at kitplus.com/IBC.
Yeah, and do also look out for more IBC exhibitor previews coming up. We're going to be doing a 12-hour live stream day on the 1st of September, and we'll be asking over 100 exhibitors why they should come and see you at the show. Should be fun and also very informative, and hopefully, Mike, you'll connect up at some point during the day. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.